Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. In 2005, at the foot of Huanghua Mountain in Jixian County, Tianjin, an archaeological team accidentally uncovered a long-forgotten corner of Qing dynasty history. What they discovered turned out to be the tomb of the Kangxi Emperor's eldest son, the once formidable first prince, Yìn Zhī, who had made his name during the dramatic, nine-lord struggle for the throne. Hundreds of years later, when archaeologists opened the tomb, the academic community was in an uproar, and experts exclaimed, "This is impossible." What exactly caused such shock and disbelief? According to historical records, the reign of the Kangxi Emperor marked one of the most glorious periods of the Qing dynasty. But it was also a time of fierce internal struggle over imperial succession. Kangxi ruled for 61 years and was one of the most important emperors in Qing history, laying the foundation for the dynasty's prosperity. However, in his later years, his sons engaged in an intense battle for the throne, casting a shadow over this otherwise brilliant era. The Kangxi Emperor had 24 sons, 9 of whom became embroiled in the succession struggle. Yìn Zhī, his eldest son, was a key figure in this thrilling power struggle, and his life was full of ups and downs. Yìn Zhī was born to the Kangxi Emperor and consort Hui of the Yulanara clan. Consort Hui passed away in the 13th year of Kangxi's reign, bringing the emperor immense grief. Because of this, Yìn Zhī was exceptionally favored by his father from an early age. As the eldest son, Yìn Zhī received a rigorous education in Confucian classics, as well as traditional Manchu martial skills like horseback riding and archery. He accompanied the Kangxi Emperor on several military campaigns, especially distinguishing himself during expeditions to the northwest against the Zhenghe Khanate, where he achieved notable military success and demonstrated outstanding leadership and talent. This earned him growing fame at court, and more officials placed high hopes on him. Kangxi's favoritism toward Yìn Zhī was not limited to private affection. He publicly praised him on many occasions, believing Yìn Zhī to be courageous and talented, a strong candidate for the throne. At court meetings, Yìn Zhī often spoke as a leading figure, actively participating in discussions on state affairs and gradually building his own political faction. However, Yìn Zhī's smooth rise did not lead him directly to the position of crown prince. On the contrary, his exceptional abilities alerted other princes and made the situation increasingly complicated. Because the Kangxi Emperor had many consorts, the princes came from different maternal backgrounds, each backed by their own powerful factions, planting the seeds for a dangerous struggle for the throne. Although Yìn Zhī was the eldest son, his mother, consort Hui of the Yulanara clan, though highly ranked, was not an empress. Meanwhile, the crown prince, Yìn Rung, was born of the empress, giving him a more legitimate claim by bloodline. Thus, Yìn Zhī did not enjoy an absolute advantage in the line of succession. Kangxi officially designated Yìn Rung as crown prince twice, showing deep trust and affection toward him. Yìn Zhī was well aware of this, and thus never openly challenged the crown prince's status. Yet he did not abandon his ambitions. Instead, he chose to bide his time, keeping a low profile, while quietly accumulating power and waiting for the right opportunity. Finally, in the 47th year of Kangxi's reign, his chance came. That year, the Kangxi Emperor, accompanied by many princes including Yìn Zhī, set off on an inspection tour beyond the Great Wall. Originally, this journey was intended to demonstrate imperial authority and strengthen the regime, but it unexpectedly became a major turning point in the succession struggle. During the trip, Crown Prince Yìn Rung repeatedly behaved improperly, acting frivolously, even showing disrespect and arrogance in front of his father. Yìn Zhī keenly seized on this weakness. He allied with several other dissatisfied princes, jointly submitting a memorial to the emperor, detailing the crown prince's many faults. Enraged, the Kangxi Emperor eventually decided to depose Yìn Rung as crown prince. At this moment, Yìn Zhī believed his time had finally come. As the eldest son of the emperor, with his achievements and seniority, he was confident he was the natural choice to be the new heir. He firmly believed that in the wake of this political upheaval, his status would be elevated. However, reality did not unfold as smoothly as he had anticipated. Emperor Kangxi was exceptionally cautious when it came to the issue of succession. Kangxi chose to adopt a wait-and-see approach. Although Yìn Zhī felt disappointed, he continued to show outward respect and obedience to his father, carefully concealing any dissatisfaction. During this period, however, undercurrents had already begun to stir within the court. Officials whispered among themselves, and other princes quietly took action. Various factions started maneuvering behind the scenes at court, each hoping to gain an early advantage in the future battle for the throne. Yìn Zhī gradually realized that if he did not take the initiative, he might never have the chance to become crown prince. Thus, he made a shocking decision that sent tremors through the court. He submitted a memorial to Emperor Kangxi, suggesting the deposition and execution of the crown prince Yìn Zhī to eliminate any future threat once and for all. This memorial exploded like a bomb, instantly igniting turmoil throughout the imperial family and the court. The intensity of Yìn Zhī's words and the extremity of his proposed measures even enraged Emperor Kangxi. Although Kangxi had deposed the crown prince, he was deeply unwilling to see his sons slaughtering one another. He viewed Yìn Zhī's actions as a complete betrayal of the fundamental ethics of father-son and brotherly relations, and as a stark revelation of Yìn Zhī's ruthless ambition for power. Thus, Kangxi harshly reprimanded Yìn Zhī and publicly declared that he would never appoint him as crown prince. This declaration crushed Yìn Zhī's last hope of ascending the throne. Yet Yìn Zhī was unwilling to give up. He turned to the eighth prince, Yìn Zhī, attempting to forge an alliance to jointly vie for future succession. However, this move only deepened Kangxi's mistrust of him. Upon learning of this, Kangxi mercilessly stripped Yìn Zhī of his princely title, ordering him to be placed under lifelong house arrest within his residence, with strict surveillance to prevent any further unrest. Thus, Yìn Zhī remained imprisoned for a full 26 years until the first day of the 11th month in the 12th year of the Hongzhang reign, November 1734. When he passed away at the age of 63 in confinement. His funeral was conducted according to the rites of a Baisi, a lower-ranking prince. After Yìn Zhī's death, his name gradually faded from official histories and popular legends, as if sealed away in a forgotten corner of history. It was not until archaeological efforts in the Qing imperial tombs advanced that his burial site once again came to light. In 2005, an archaeological team composed of the Tianjin Cultural Heritage Protection Center, Nankai University, Tianjin University, and other institutions conducted a routine survey of Qing-era imperial gardens and tombs in Jixian County, Tianjin. What began as an ordinary investigation unexpectedly led to the discovery of an unusual burial site near Huanghua Mountain. The burial ground, located at the northwestern foot of Huanghua Mountain, was surrounded by mountains and ancient trees, with a serene yet desolate atmosphere. Long neglected, many tombs there had fallen into ruin, overrun with weeds, and appeared completely unremarkable. Initially, the archaeological team speculated that the site belonged to a Qing dynasty prince. However, further investigation and comparison with historical records led to a startling realization. They had discovered the tomb of Kangxi's eldest son, Yìn Zhī. The tomb area lacked any typical royal features such as stone tablets or spirit-way steels. Nor were there any remaining hallmark structures near the grave. Only a few heavily collapsed burial mounds remained. The archaeologists selected one of the larger tombs for excavation. Through meticulous cleaning, the entrance to the underground palace gradually emerged. Yet the scene that greeted them was entirely unexpected. The stone gate of the underground chamber was already broken and crudely decorated, showing none of the grandeur befitting royalty. Analysis suggested that during the 1960s, the tomb had been repurposed as an air raid shelter. resulting in severe damage to its original structures and artifacts. As they entered the tomb passage, a musty, decaying smell filled the air. The murals and carvings on the walls had become blurred and indistinct. The tomb chamber itself was small and rudimentary, strikingly shabby compared to the opulent mausoleums of other Qing princes and nobles. Further inside, the archaeologists found fragments of stone components, notably a large marble slab engraved with cloud patterns. Although severely damaged, traces of its once fine craftsmanship were still visible. When they reached the core of the burial chamber, they were met with an even more astonishing sight. Where the coffin should have been, there was no casket, no burial items. Not even traces of the bed frame meant to hold the body. Aside from a few pieces of rubble and stone materials, there were almost no valuable burial goods found within the entire tomb. Investigation revealed that during the upheavals of the 1960s, the tomb had been severely looted, with the coffin and artifacts almost completely plundered. That the once esteemed imperial eldest son ended up in such a state was truly lamentable. Nevertheless, this archaeological discovery was of great significance. It not only filled a gap in the study of early Qing royal tombs, but also brought renewed attention to a prince long neglected by history. Today, Yìn Zhī's tomb has been incorporated into the cultural heritage protection system of the Eastern Qing tombs, ensuring that this once-forgotten corner finally receives the recognition and respect it deserves. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.